football, the red zone is where a team has to make small adjustments to ensure victory. As you approach retirement, you also need to make small adjustments to ensure success. This is the Red Zone Retirement Program with registered investment advisor and enrolled agent John Mears of Mears Money Management.
Coach, we're back at them here in January. It's 2026. We're rolling with our first episode of the new year, and figure we better talk about some, important changes to the never-ending, saga that is the government tinkering with things, and why that matters to our money, right? So we want to run down some numbers for people this week. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. This is a great topic to go over because even in the new year, as we're just rounding the new year, I'm getting questions about these things. Now, some of the stuff we've already covered. Over the last year, some of the things that may be changing, but right now is a great time to do a little reminder for everybody, just kind of a brush up, if you will, on what's changing in 2026 for retirees and pre-retirees, old people like me. So that's something that we'll delve into today. It's super, super topical. And right now when we're recording this, we're right in the middle of playoff season. So I'm always happy to.
Oh yeah, that's very true. We were just talking about that before we jumped on here. It's some of the stuff, like you said, we have covered, at the end of the last year, but because it is tax season now, people are thinking about that stuff. It's good to remind it. So let's start off with the COLA. I tell this joke on almost every episode, so it's probably out there a million times now, but my mom calls it a diet cola. She's 84. And she's like, every time they give us something, they take it away. So it's not really a cola, it's a diet cola, which I thought was kind of cute. But anyway, what's the COLA? What are we looking at?
So the adjustment this year for the cost of living adjustment, that's what COLA stands for. It's a cost of living adjustment for Social Security. And it's actually a decent raise. It's 2.8%. They don't always raise it, by the way, folks. It sometimes happens where there is no raise, depending on what's going on with inflation.
For a number of years, there was zero. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they're trying to keep up with inflation. It's kind of how they judge these numbers by. But 2.8% is a jump. Now, it's been higher for the last few years. So that's why people are like, oh, it's only 2.8%. Well, remember, we had a lot of inflation in 2022. And so they kind of had a big jump then, but that was kind of an anomaly. So 2.8% is actually a decent cost of living adjustment. It's just lower than the last few years. One thing that's also in conjunction with this, there's a kind of a big jump in Medicare premiums. So that's a big one that happened this year from 185 to where my notes at, it's 2029. It's almost 10%. It's a big jump in Medicare premiums. Yeah. And so when you see your Social Security check, if you're having Medicare deducted from that, it's possible that it's kind of wiping it out. It's kind of
Coach. I mean, it's like the second largest jump in the program's history at 10%. It's right at $18, right? That it's going up. And I think I was just reading that the average Medicare recipient, if you just averaged it out across the country, they're going up about $40. Mm-hmm. That 2.8% raise is about $40 a month. Well, 20 of it almost is going to Medicare. So basically,
correct.
So you might have enough left over to go out, for a cheap dinner, really cheap.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It's something that will be insignificant or significant depending on which level of prism you're looking at here.
Yeah.
But they have a bump up, but a lot of it's being taken away by the jump in our Medicare premiums because we all know that the Affordable Care Act actually took care of the health insurance.
Yeah, sure it did.
So that's a big jump there. So that's something that people have to realize going into 2026. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away, or we could say that the government giveth.
I was going to say the government giveth and the government taketh away. Yeah, exactly. Yes. All right, so let's talk about probably something that we had covered a couple times already. But again, now that tax time is rolling, so let's talk about that. That tax deduction for the seniors, that extra one they did with our
just
Uncle
got an
Obama.
Email the other day.
Right.
Yes, a guy just asked about this, and so this is where there's still that misconception out there with the Social Security. This is where it starts out. Oh, Social Security is not taxable anymore. I've had people ask that. I just got an email from a guy just the other day. Fair question. People heard that a lot, both when Trump was on the campaign trail and all the way through the negotiations.
But they couldn't agree to it. Right. They could not go through with it. So this was the meeting of the minds.
Yes. This was the alternative that they came up with. So right now there is still Social Security is still taxable, but now they have a $6,000 deduction per person if you're age 65 or older. Well, that's pretty handy. And for a lot of people that will make Social Security either less or no non-taxable. That's $6,000 per person too. So I like to look at it as a tax preparer looking at, okay, $6,000 per person. If you're married, so that's $12,000 plus a standard deduction. You're getting, and plus a senior deduction also. There's still that as well for the standard deduction. You can get up into the high $40,000 range and still have no taxes due just because of the government give outs for, standard deduction, senior deduction, and then the $6,000 per person.
And that's not bad at all. You're talking about you don't have to itemize at all because, you're going to take a lot to get to 40. I think it's like 41 and some change, I think.
And and that should affect you as far as how you're taking your distributions. Because again, this is why a little side note here, you don't need to convert everything to a Roth. You can actually have some stuff in your IRA because there is a decent standard deduction there. So you can have the sweet spot for an IRA is probably around $250,000 or $300,000, which is okay to maintain as you're getting to retirement because any RMDs or any distributions off of that should be below your standard deduction. So you have no tax on that. That also will hopefully make it so your Social Security is either low or not taxable. And then if you have any Roth or anything else beyond that. So there's ways people always see these internet, YouTube videos, how to get into the zero tax bracket. Well, this is one of those ways. You got to plan it though. You can't just wing it. That's one of those ways if you plan that out. So,
well, let's cover a couple of caveats, Coach, for that senior deduction. By the way, right? So if it's single, if it's $75,000 that you make as a single person, that starts the threshold cutoff, right? It starts to work its way down. It's not immediate. I think it's up to 150,000. I think, but when you get to 150 as an income, as your modified adjusted gross income, then you're cut off of that new thing. And for married, it's what, 150, I think, and 250, I think.
Yes. So it's 150 and it gradually goes down to 250. So Congress says if you make more than $150,000 in retirement, you're too rich. That's what they say. So if you're too rich, then you start gradually losing your $6,000 per person deduction there. So, and again, there's
for a couple making over 250, you're not getting this bonus.
Yes. And I do run into that. I run into some people that in my client base that are doing well, even in retirement. And if you're looking at fairness, let's just call it that. And we'll just say, okay, it's fair. You didn't really need it. It is for people that are, lower income people. And that's kind of what they were trying to target. In
lower and middle lower. Yeah.
So it's a nice deduction. So Social Security still is taxable, folks. It is. But we have a little bit of a bump here that they negotiated in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. So
the OBBA, uncle OBBA.
Right? I hear it's called so many different things. Zero, O, triple B, A.
I like OBBA. I think we should just make it a thing because it just sounds like somebody's grandfather or something, or somebody's uncle.
It's a comforting.
There you go. But again, know the numbers. Make sure you're talking with your advisor. Make sure you're talking with your CPA. Make sure that you understand and it is a sizable amount. If you do qualify for all this, you're talking like, again, some 41 grand and some change. So pretty good shape. All right, let's go to catch-up contributions. Now, this is every year or just about every year. Little tweaks are made to what you can do. But let's talk about the employee plans, right? The employer-sponsored plans. So what's going on here with the catch-up?
So I have to refer to my notes here. So if you're over 50 years old and you have either a 403B or 401k or 457, your regular 401k contributions or 403B contributions are 24/5.
That's for everybody, no matter what you're.
That's for everybody. Yeah, you just show up at the dance. You can contribute up to $24,500.
Yeah.
If you're over 50, you can contribute an additional $8,000. So that is $32,500. So that's pretty helpful. And then we also have that weird age 60, 61, 62, and 63. This 4-year window.
The super catch up.
Wrap my head around why Congress did this. We have a super catch up of $11,250. So another additional $3,250 on top of that. I know this is going to scramble your brain, but just know that you can do a catch-up provision of $8,000 above what your normal contributions are. And if you're in that weird 4-year window, you're not going to remember this, folks, but you get another several $1,000s. Let's not worry about the exact numbers, but you get another several $1,000s you can contribute to kind of turbocharge your retirement.
It's $35,750 for that 4-year window, right? So, but I mean, think about it. The whole point of catch-up contributions, and the government doesn't get things right often, folks, as we know, but they did aptly name this catch-up contributions, and it's been that name for a long time. Because when you get to 50, John, we've talked about this before, hopefully the kids are off the payroll. You're probably making the most you've ever made in your life in your 50s, right? So you can start socking more away. And even if you went with just the standard, not even the super catch-up contribution, but even talking like 30 grand, let's say for a 15-year window from 50 to 65, That's not chump change, right?
Yes.
If you're doing that
Yeah.
every year, now granted, never everybody can max that out every year, but again, it does give you that opportunity to do it. Now,
Yeah.
there is a caveat though, Coach, we need to tell people about. The catch-up contributions now, because of the Secure Act 2.0, if you make more than 150,000 and your company does not offer a Roth, you can't do it.
Yes. Yeah. So that's one of those changes this year. If you are a wealthy employee, if you will, a high paid employee, they have to put that into a Roth 401k. And so you're seeing most companies are offering this. It's getting easier for the companies to offer them.
Yeah.
But there are a few out there that don't. So if you're with I would call it a smaller employer that may not offer that, you might want to talk to your employer. It's not that hard for them to add that. So that might be something to talk to them about, is to make sure they do that, because otherwise you can't do it.
Yep.
One thing that you pointed out, as far as the ages, it's statistically speaking, people start contributing to their 401k at age 49. So that's what's
Really
kind of odd. Yes. So people just put it off and punt it. And then all of a sudden, when they reach age 49, I think people realize, oh crap, I'm going to turn 50 next year. I haven't done anything. Yeah. So that's the age most people start contributing to the 401k is age 49. And so you can start doing your catch ups at 50. So if you have punted it, you are running late, but you're not lost. You can still do something here. And again, we have a little bit of turbocharge. And again, if you're in that weird age 60 to 63 window, you can still do a little bit extra even then. Again, you won't remember the numbers, but you can ask us. You can Google them. They're out there. But as long as you know it, you can plan on that right now, that you can really turbocharge things. So,
well, and Coach, and Coach, this is where, strategy always comes back into play, right? And this is where working with somebody, who's in the trenches on a regular basis becomes helpful, because they do tinker with this stuff all the flipping time, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to be, and this is where building, and to your point, we get close to 50, and I've said it for years, and I'll say it again this year as summer starts to roll around, but it's like, just like Memorial Day is not officially summertime, we treat it as the kickoff to summer. 50 is not retirement, but we start to treat it like the old crap retirement's coming.
We're heading that way. Yes.
Right. Uh-huh. So start planning, right? Start strategizing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, any other numbers we need to know? Anything else?
Nothing major on that. I mean, we could go on and on for what was in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. There's a lot that was there, but I think for what we're looking at as we're attacking tax season, and as people are trying to plan out this next year, those are the big ones. Knowing that you have that extra $6,000 per person deduction, that's pretty helpful. Again, age 65, that's helpful. Knowing that Medicare had a little bit of a bump here this year, folks, just be aware of that. And you still, if you are doing Social Security withholding, continue to do so. Talk to your tax advisor if you need to make any adjustments on that. But that's an easy thing to do. There's a form that is very easy to fill out. You don't need a CPA to help you fill it out. There's just a checkbox on there. You put your name, check off 12%, and you're done with it. So that's an easy way to do things. But yeah, these are the things we really need to cover, because these are the things I think people forgot. What do we? I know John talked about this. What are we really doing here? So
yeah, exactly. Right. So if you need some help, reach out to him. We'll have links in the show descriptions below. As we always do, you can get some time on the calendar and just chat with John about this. Just go to bookachatwithjohn.net. That's pretty darn easy to do. But we got links below for all the different things. So if you want to check that out, you certainly can. And subscribe to the podcast. That certainly helps us out, helps the channel out, and it just hopefully gets people more good information and things to think about. And you get to see our smiling, goofy faces as we talk about this stuff. So hit the notifications, subscribe button, ring the bell, all that good stuff. And we will see you next time here on Red Zone Retirement Program, Simple Investing, Smart Future with Coach John Mears. See you, Coach.
See ya. Thank you.
John has a couple of free books, Diffuse and Tax-Free Retirement in California, that reveal exactly how you can experience zero taxes in retirement and overcome the IRS lien on your 401k, IRA, and 403b, which could threaten your future lifestyle. These are complimentary, so all you have to do to pick these up 100% free is just stop by rescuemyretirement.net. That's rescuemyretirement.net. Fill in the basic info and he'll ship those out to you immediately. That's rescuemyretirement.net for a copy of Diffuse and Tax-Free Retirement in California.
Advisory services offered through Mears Money Management, Inc., an RIA registered in the states of California and Texas. California Department of Insurance License number 0685203.